Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Moxie Podcast. We are a Cerebral Palsy Podcast. We are trying to promote an open discussion of having CP, the living with it, the struggles, the good, the bad, the funny, the achievements. And Sarah is going to introduce our episode, and my
Of
name is
course
Tanya.
I do. So on this episode, we have a very special guest who would like to share a story and his experiences living with CP. Our guest is Johnathan. He has a very interesting perspective as he was born in Peru and after many years moved to Israel, where he's been living the past 4 years. Jonathan is a highly motivated and intelligent individual. We love hearing his stories and we want him to share them with you. So, Jonathan, starting off, do you mind telling us about or educating us about the reality of growing up in Peru as a disabled individual?
Yeah, it will be a pleasure. Well, basically, I would have to say that I was born in the 80s. I was born in 81. So it's not Peru, it's not a wealthy country. And in those years, like there wasn't even like the technology that there is today for treating and developing and thankfully I was diagnosed there, but from there, thanks to my
Wait, can I
family, my
ask what
parents,
age you were diagnosed at? Sorry.
I assume I was diagnosed as a baby,
Okay.
I
months,
was
because
actually
they
Months.
two.
they
Okay.
they knew because I wasn't crawling. It's like that's the first thing that like got their attention. He's not crawling normally.
Right, at a few months old, you should be crawling.
Yeah. Uh, and so mostly due to my parents, my family, I was completely treated in the States. Um, I was taken there back and forth many times a year, most of the time at the start. And I started with my surgeries around 4.5 years of age. And then I've going on like many of them. I can count up to now like 13 in total, which includes legs, hips, eyes, toes. Like I don't know. I still have some metal in me. Not exactly sure what it is because it's like from those days. So I'm not sure
Right,
if it
so
was
old.
titanium or something like that, but it's still there. Most of the metal I had was taken out, but some still there.
I wanted to ask you, did you find like your surgeries helpful? Like, did you notice a difference before you had them, or like what?
Well, yeah, of course. I was before my surgeries. I was deformed. I had the like my legs were not looking or moving like legs, and all of me basically. I was like a little, like you could say a worm, like just crawling, not even crawling in my own forest, but just being in like moving with my arms, you know, any way possible. And then now I'm able to walk and I'm able to do stuff. I swim, also, and I have like a normal life. I do all my stuff independently with a million hours of physical therapy. I learned to walk, to fall, to have a sort of a normal gait for
I
moving.
I have a question before I forget it. Sorry. Do you know where in America you got these surgeries, or was there many different places you went?
Basically, I had a head orthopedic surgeon that I followed wherever he goes. I was uh, his name was Paul Griffin, and
Wow,
I
you
was,
still remember it. That's awesome.
of course, I was in the Boston Children's Hospital, Johns Hopkins, um, then South Carolina, I guess once or twice Philadelphia. I don't exactly remember where, but
Okay. But
mostly
so you
South
moved
Carolina,
around
North
basically.
Carolina, yeah, Boston, Baltimore, uh, yeah, and like Maryland, I guess. I don't exactly remember. I've uh, moved all around, basically
Would you like
chasing.
explore the states that you went to, or were you just strictly there for the surgery?
Um, no, I was able to, well, I wasn't, my parents took me,
Mhm.
sightseeing and touring. Yeah,
Right,
it
might as
wasn't
well.
exactly, only medical visits because it was very traumatic for me. Like
Right.
I remember that when I was very, very little, I had issues with the IB, so I really got traumatized by the experience, and then many, many surgeries after, even as a small little boy, I had to be sleeping under anesthesia before the IV. So they gave me like a little anesthesia to just knock me out, and then the real anesthesia and everything. And I basically, my mom was allowed to go in to the like the OR, taking me in her arms because it was like traumatic for me.
Yeah.
That was one of the things I remember. And then it's just, you wake up, you don't get the language, you don't get what's going on. And well, thankfully, my family is always there for me. So that was it. And yeah, of course, if there was time, like we went many places, I don't know. And also afterwards, maybe Disney or SeaWorld, things like
Yeah,
that.
that's always fun as a kid.
Right.
Yeah,
Even
that's just
now.
to, I don't know, just to have fun. It's not,
Right,
not,
yeah, especially since you said it was so traumatic, you might as well have these fun experiences so you don't just remember as a completely horrible thing. And
yeah,
I also
yeah,
wanted to ask you, oh, go ahead.
but it wasn't like, it was always, if like we are going to the doctor, you are gonna feel bad, and
Hmm.
then we will go somewhere. It's
Yeah,
not
they're
like
very transparent.
it's not like I like we're taking you to Disney, and then it's a wrong turn and you end up in the doctor's office.
No, that's good. That way you didn't just get shocked and be like,
You
"Oh,
know,
what
thank,
happened?"
thankfully my parents never lied to me in that sense.
No, that's
Like
awesome.
we any aspect of my life, either good or bad, is always, this is what's gonna happen. Then we're gonna be together and we're gonna support you, and that's it.
How did your schooling like work if you were going back and forth between America and Peru? Like, were you in school at this time or?
Yeah, well, some of it, yeah, and well, maybe most of what I remember was also preschool, like
Mhm.
not entirely, and I was homeschooled. My mom bought
Oh,
many teaching books and stuff, and she taught me many things
that's awesome.
while I was, you know, like at home, being in the States or wherever I was. Yeah, I was always taught by her. And she like bought teaching books and puppets and all kinds of stuff just to
Nice.
get me engaged
Good.
into learning.
Wow. She seems like she had a huge impact on you. Wow.
Yeah, my mom's amazing.
It's so amazing. Do you want to like when you were talking to us, you were talking how they really like helped build your a better mindset. Do you want to talk about that? I found that really cool, and I think our
Yeah,
viewers could
well,
really benefit from
basically,
that.
all that I am is because of them, because of their strength, because of they were able to transmit to me the strength that I guess my family has. Because, like I told you the other day, when like all of these things were happening, they always said to me, "You have two options. You can cry until you run out of tears, and we will be here with you all all the way, but someday you will find yourself without tears, and you'll find out that the world is just kept spinning, and it's still gonna be moving around, and you're gonna be stuck in the place you just stayed because you wanted to, or that's how you felt.
You
Our
have
best
to
advice
move
is
forward. You have to move forward on your own. You
Yeah, life
have to
yeah,
doesn't stop
find
and
it
for
in
so
you.
yourself too.
and
Yeah.
so they made it like you the other option you have is to move forward a little bit every day and
Mhm.
compare yourself with yourself the day before, and if you improved in any way, then it's a good day. You're moving forward. Doesn't matter how much, but
No, I really like that because I feel like with CP you tend to compare yourself to like able-bodied kids, and so then you're like, I'm so less, I'm inferior. But if you were to, like how you were saying, compare to yourself
yeah,
every day,
no,
you make progress, therapy,
I,
stretching.
at first I did struggle, but at the end,
Mhm.
like even they learned to be with me. I remember, well, South American, I love football, which is soccer would be for
In
you, but
American words.
like at the end, I was playing soccer as well. Of course, not in the main team, but I like the position of goalkeeper, and I broke many like braces and stuff just to play.
Just to
And my
do it.
my my, par- my parents were going crazy. Hey, don't break that
All the
stuff.
money they get to spend on new braces,
It's
but I'm so
yeah,
sure they thought it was so
it's
worth it.
expensive, you know. But I was
Hmm.
playing, and I was playing with my friends, and it was part of that. Same when I grew up a little bit older. I liked music. I liked dancing, and I
Oh, I love
I
that.
remember the first times I went to like a club, and nobody wanted to dance with me. So I thought, okay,
Right.
maybe they don't want to dance with me because I'm handicapped, and it kind of like didn't feel good. But cause
Yeah.
of course I didn't understand back then that the girls just dance between girls, and it's
That's
really hard even for a normal guy just to go and break it.
the girls are
So
with their friends.
I started dancing on my own by
I love
myself,
that.
and then I had one, two, three, four, many girls surrounding me because it was like
Girls love confidence,
very
I will tell you that.
it was really like weird in a good way, like just to see a guy having fun, don't caring much about what's
Yeah.
going
Right.
on, and I guess that like brought them closer. It was
That's
fun
how
and
you get the
nice.
girls you know now.
Yeah, well, it's a bit of everything. Then I became a DJ also, from
Oh,
my
wow. Okay. From a dancer to
not
a
a
DJ.
professional DJ,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, from my 20s to my 30s, I was DJing. Uh, also because of the love I have for music and partying, and yeah, I was a I was a troublemaker back then. Also, my
I
parents,
will. A little
Yeah, at
bit.
some point we all are, but you
like
gotta have fun. I just, wow, I
it's like,
love how you see
who
the
are you,
better in
man? Like,
CP.
how did you end up like that? Something like that. It was. Um, Having said that, at the start, I remember that they wanted me to be like it's like a crystal, like a crystal kid. Don't stand,
Yeah, don't
don't
touch.
stand
Don't. Yeah.
too much because your muscles gonna get tired. But don't sit too much because you need some muscle tone.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
finding the
it was
balance.
always like in the
Like a
middle. And then
seesaw
I
going up and down.
one day I just, I want to live my life, and if I fell, I, stand up, and it was hard because the first years of school I went with someone like a caretaker,
Okay.
you know, and then
Would this
I
caretaker like
convinced,
follow you throughout your classes and just help you, or like what was
yeah,
the role of the
not to
caretaker?
writing, basically just to not, don't let him fall.
Oh my God, it's like you're balancing thing.
Yeah, and of course I did fail anyway. So
Right,
at the
naturally,
end,
you're gonna fall, but you just get back up. It's all about how
yeah,
you
and at
handle
the
it.
end I convinced my parents just to let me be,
Freely
and I
without the
went
caretaker?
from from that day on, which was I think first grade or something, I went alone,
That's
and that was
awesome.
the start of my real independence. Like, I went to school and then to university, and then I lived alone, and I'm living alone right now. That's part of it. It's just,
How is making the transition from living at home to now living alone?
well, I don't know, because it was really a normal thing for us. It's like, because I was living alone also in Peru. Like, I turned 30 and my parents said, okay, uh, your sister is already married. Your other
Is
sister
she
is
younger
young.
or older?
No, they are both younger,
Okay.
but they are like older because each one of them have already family, kids. I have uh, nieces and nephews and stuff.
Aw, that's so cute.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And so, well, that was it. I turned 30, and my dad said, okay, what are you gonna do with your life? You got your money.
Always that
Go
question.
on, dude. Something like that.
Right,
And
like
so
come
I
on,
bought
do something.
I find
some.
that funny because some parents are like, they'll keep their kid there until forever. I think it's
Yeah,
a sign of a strong parent to let
well,
you, to say, hey, you can do this, go do this.
yeah, well, it depends also, because in South American culture, usually it
Okay,
the kids are it's like nesters. They stay,
okay.
like girls stay until they're married. Like, well, in those days. Nowadays, it's
That's
it's
kind of how it is
they're
in Indian culture
Is
too.
they're
that,
moving on.
yeah, is that like a Peruvian culture thing? Or maybe like,
I
uh,
I I wouldn't say exact, like, especially Peruvian. I guess, like South American, Latin,
what,
maybe, like
okay.
we're more like real, like, the mother takes care of the
Family
chicks
oriented.
Yeah, it's more
until the
traditional.
end.
Yeah, very family oriented, it seems. This is very similar to Indian culture, which I'm Indian.
Yeah, I'm, well, not also, I'm just talking from my experience, but that was it. Like,
Mm.
but yeah, they when my parents learned together with me what my limitations were and how I was able to develop, they just had, like, let me live my life. And that came back the same when I decided to move half around the world and move alone to Israel, because
Mm.
that was a tough one. Also, I moved into Israel in the middle of the pandemic. uh, I
Yeah,
went out
hard.
I went out from a military airport in Peru. The skies were already closed down, and I went in the last civilian sort of plane, carrying people from the Israeli embassy, taking people out and bringing people in. So, yeah, because
Yeah.
it was kind of like crazy, uh, but yeah. And then every time I'm able to, I go and visit, go to Peru,
Right. So is your
stay.
family still in Peru or?
Yeah, half my family is in Peru, and I have some family also in Florida, and
Oh, Florida. Okay.
like, we're talking about my nuclear family, because I have family
Right,
all around the
right.
world,
Yeah,
also
obviously a lot of extended family. Hmm.
in Canada, also
Okay, wow.
Uruguay, Chile.
Mm.
So yeah.
Everyone's just spread about. And then you told us that you were a lawyer, which I think is a super cool, impressive feat. Like when you were doing that, did you get any backlash or face discrimination? Like how did other people?
I would have to say, in its majority, no, because, like, people uh, looked for me because of, like, I guess it's usually like people know who you are based on. In my case, my grandpa was a lawyer, my dad's a lawyer, and we have
Oh.
a lawyer, like a family law firm. And even though I also got my own clients and my own cases, it's basically I had a name to work on.
Right.
And basically, that was how I ended up being a lawyer, because I wanted to be my first and real calling was to be a psychologist and work with handicapped kids.
Oh wow,
But
what made you change from that? That would have been
yeah,
so
basically because of the family, it's like, what are you
right.
gonna do? It's gonna be hard for you to be a psychologist here in Peru, and so on and so forth, and you're gonna have, you already have a name, and all those kinds of things, and I guess it was what it had to be, and then I became a lawyer. I ended up liking even being a lawyer, working, helping other people in my own terms as well, and yeah, and that's it. And also through some organizations during my free time, I was able to also give like talks to enterprises, to getting interested about hiring handicapped people, and what the benefits of hiring handicapped people were. And I talked to directive, to HR people, also spoke in school to kids
And
about the
what was it?
bullying, motivation, and things like that. But that's
That's so
because
cool.
I guess it's gonna sound cheesy, but that's how I am. The best of my abilities, the brighter I shine is when I'm helping people.
I
Oh,
So
love
it's so good
that.
to get
I
back.
feel
it's
the same way. I love helping people. And sometimes I feel like I might, if I was not disabled, I could do so much more. But I think what I do still means so much to people.
Right, it
yeah, but
is.
well, just as a come back to what you just said, is what we were also talking the other day. I'm proud of being a handicap. I like being a handicap. Like, I guess I was meant to be like this, to have these abilities that I like. My personality was formed around being a handicap, and not just despite of it. It's just part of who I am. So maybe if I were not handicapped, I would be completely different person, and I'm not sure if I would have even liked myself
No, I'm
not
sure it
being
really
handicapped.
shapes you in a
That
way.
is a big internal question, I think, for
So
a lot of people
Right, it's like
with
what would life be
disabilities.
without
Yeah.
CP?
it's like, I'm really happy. Like even when I talk to other handicapped people, it's just, how can you say that? Because that's the way I feel. I mean, I guess, like, doing all the things I've done, and being able to walk, being able to overcome many of my physical disabilities, you know, be, having been able to study, to interact with mostly different kinds of groups of people, and being treated basically equally, because I really didn't feel that discrimination, unless it comes basically not as a hate, or as a something against. It's just ignorance, and
Yeah,
you
people are
cannot
just
be
curious and ignorant.
and you cannot be angry. Well, you can be angry, but it's just ignorance. It's like they're not looking to hurt you most of the time.
I think there are a few people that are actively
Hmm.
gonna hurt you, but that's everyone in life.
But yeah, then that would hurt people who are even
I
able-bodied. That
don't
just
think
depends
the
on the
majority of people mean to be
Yeah,
hurtful.
most of the time it's like they don't know how to react, or they
Yeah,
think,
agree.
like, I was talking the other day with one of my friends from the university. We've been friends many years, and
That's
just on our last conversation, she realized, like, dude, you didn't have any notebooks at university. And I go, of course,
smarty.
because it was very hard for me to write. So
Oh,
Right.
I preferred, engaging with the teacher and getting the concepts right, and then getting a copies from somebody from class
Oh
instead
yeah.
of losing precious time and concentration on getting the
Yeah,
notes.
that
And
No, that's
also
I
so smart.
super smart.
Right, find
Also,
which
and
way works
they
best for
probably
you.
didn't have laptops and stuff when you were going to school, right?
no, I wasn't.
No,
No, no,
yeah.
no.
Like for
And
me
Right,
well,
and
pen and paper.
Sonia, right? For me
and
and
also,
Sonia, it's a bit easier. We could have our laptop. We could record, lectures,
yeah,
stuff
no,
like
no.
that. So it's a bit
In
easier now for us.
in my case, if you brought one of those small cassette recorders, you were banned. It wasn't allowed
Wow.
Yeah, sometimes even nowadays, teachers don't like you
because
Oh,
recording.
it's like part of what we're teaching. You're
right.
taking away my, like, I don't know, guess sort of copyright. I would say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, they
And
don't like that. They want you to be more present and listen right now, but sometimes, like for you,
yeah,
it's easier if you could
but
implement
in
your
my
full
case, I didn't have
concentration.
that kind of problem because I was engaging directly with the
Right.
teacher. So
Right, that's
they
how you
very,
learn.
very quickly they knew who I was
That you
in
are
class.
capable. You just had a different way of learning.
Yeah, but no, but it was even harder. It was even also hard for me because for me also now typing is complicated.
Right.
Yeah,
I
it
Yeah.
can
like my
be.
my right hand is much like effective
Oh, do you
typing that
want to
my
talk about
than.
how your CP affects you? Like which parts of your body is affected?
Oh yeah. Well, basically most of it is my legs, hips, and all of that.
Mm.
I have vision problems, but I had strabism, so to correct that, I had an eye surgery. With my eyes were like fixed in front,
Mm.
and that made me. I don't know exactly if that made me, but the issue is I don't have like 3D like depth of field maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It's I see everything in one, like basically in one plane.
One dimensional.
Like
Yeah,
Uh,
I
nothing
know
is
that I'm doing this, and I know because I'm moving my hand, I know which one is like further
further.
back,
Yeah.
but visually it's
You
hard
can't see
to,
that.
unless I move my head. I've developed my own way to think figuring out stuff, but
um, can I ask really quick? Do you have like peripheral vision, like on the sides?
I it's I I basically have to move my head.
I'm
Okay.
that same
Like,
way. I always have to tilt it when I'm like trying to read something or look at somewhere. But
yeah, but that's what I mean. I move myself, and like maybe because I am the one that's doing it, I'm not like focusing on myself. But yeah, maybe I move the head here, or maybe
I do
I
that
look
too.
only with one eye, just to,
Mm.
I don't exactly know how it's done, but it's my brain process it. Also, I did have many other different things, like most. I don't want to say cliche on the CPS spectrum, but I did have, when I was very little, I did have I cannot say epilepsy, but seizures. I did
Yeah.
have
Oh,
seizures
I
when I was
hate
a
those
baby,
too.
and then they well stopped.
Oh, you grew out
So
I
of
did
it?
have
then,
I didn't have control for seating, like my upper body didn't have strength, my neck didn't have strength. I opened my mouth, I drooled.
Oh
It
God.
was and I wasn't able to sit straight and in a
Okay.
like fixed position. And sometimes because of I'm spastic, and
Right. Me too.
because of that, well, I don't know. I jump a little bit when I have when I heard
a
when I
startle.
hear
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
a
oh, I
loud
do that
noise,
too.
or somebody pokes me. Like, for instance, one of the things that my friends and my friends and I, we were the ones that going to the cinema. I was always the one holding the popcorn because somebody would poke me, and then I go like this, and
And the popcorn would fly, raining
yeah,
popcorn.
basically that's, and then it
That's
heated.
so funny, but then no, you lose the popcorn.
I love it.
I don't know, we were just, kind of kids playing, or
I love
maybe when
that.
I sit it in the cinema, I just tilting like that. And
Yeah.
dude, go to your side,
Yeah, they're
I
like,
love
hello, you have your
it.
own chair. How was making friends for you with CP?
I guess like a normal kid. I guess because I grew up in the like 80s and 90s, there wasn't anything like bullying or anything. You just,
Right. You had to come
go
up
to
tough.
school. If they hit you, hit back. And if they, if they muck you,
You
muck back. And, you know,
stand up for yourself.
I don't want to sound rude like for today, but it's like, grow up here, do something, do
No,
something
I
about it,
agree. You have to stand up for yourself.
I
You
like
can't
that.
let people
Yeah,
do that.
and yeah, and then it was hard really because at the start I wasn't able to stand up, for myself. I did. I guess I was bullied. I was, but it was a hard reality, which I think that every kid it has. It's for me, it's like a part of a experience of going to school, but I didn't like it. I really didn't like. University was much uh, an enjoyable time,
I'm glad.
if you could say
Yeah, it
it.
seems like you
I
lived it up in
hated
university.
I hated school. I really hated it. It's like I even didn't go to my school reunion like 25 years. Well, I was here in Israel and
Yeah, so it's not
the
exact.
war was just broke out, but still it wasn't like, you know, I have four friends or five like that. They're like my brothers that we're still
Oh,
in touch, and it's like that's amazing. But
no, you
then
have such a close friendship. It's truly
it's
a blessing.
no, it was a very hard times, like proving to myself that I was intelligent enough, because I also struggled a lot with math. I've never
Me
been able to pass.
too.
I've never been able to pass, you know, a math test in the first go.
Uh-oh.
It's like, no, I
It's a
guess
learning
that's why
experience.
I became a lawyer also.
Right,
But it's
it's
like,
still a prestigious career, but no maths involved, all analytical.
well, no,
Mhm.
I did end up like doing business
Oh,
law.
okay,
So I
that's
did it,
mathy.
but then I could analyze the numbers and then
Mhm.
go to accounting, and they would,
Accounting
you know,
was hard. Oh my God. Ugh, not for
do
me.
the whole thing. But yeah, um, that was cool for me. Yeah, plus, growing up was really hard. Relearning many times during my childhood to rewalk, redo
Right, I wanted to
all the
ask you
things,
about that.
that, tying my shoes, like getting my buttons right in
That is
in
tricky.
my shirt, dressing on my own by myself. I've never like I like help when I really need it or when I want it. Like it's like
Mm.
if I can skip out a line, I would skip it out. But
Right.
knowing that I can do it on my own and I can wait, or I can go up 5 flights of stairs, no matter how much I have to rest in the middle, I
Yeah, but
like
it's
to
like
do
you're
my own.
still able to do it, which is a win.
Yeah, like for instance, there's no way I'm gonna be a champion and walk in an airport. That's completely stupid.
Mm.
Because
Right.
if they can drive you around with the wheelchair and to the door of the plane, that I would do 100%. But walking and as being as much independent as I can be, that's it. That's it for
Right.
me. And
We take the ones we can get, right? I wanted to transition a little bit into your transfer to Israel and everything that kind of went into that and why Israel and kind of all that we discussed.
okay, why Israel? It's I've because I'm Jewish. I learned in a Jewish school, and I was always like taught from early age about Israel, and like I never imagined myself living in Israel, to tell you the truth. But uh, when time came, like when I was 39, I started to think about what am I gonna do when I, get older, like 60, 70. Like I wanna, I wanna be like well taken care of, and I knew that in Peru, if you don't have like really like a good like economical position, or you're not up there, and you have
Mm.
everything regarding health is basically private, because if not, you're in a big trouble.
Right.
Uh, and like I mentioned, many people don't get it, but the handicaps need two budgets. One, it's an everyday life budget, and then there's your medical budget
Yeah,
that
that's
only
it.
piles up with
Mhm.
time. It only gets bigger.
Right, because as you get
So
older, your body deteriorates.
yeah, so I was juggling between both of them. I
Mm.
was able to support myself at a certain level, but if there was a surgery or something like really costly and important, I would need the help of my family, parents, and so forth.
Right, that's a
And
lot to find.
and well, when I decided to move, I knew that Israel has benefits. Like, you cannot say benefits, but it's like they try to to
Mitigate.
shorten the difference of living conditions
Mm.
by giving help from the government, or
Yeah.
via pensions or via treatments or things like that. And also, it's hard for me to say it as well, but I thought about my family, just to giving them a break. And it's not like I say it in a wrong way, like I felt a burden. It's nothing like that. But parents always worry about their kids,
Yeah, it's in their
and my
nature.
and my family especially worries all the time about me. So having the possibility to give them the maybe insurance that I would be okay in a
Hmm.
place that I would be okay and well taken care of, and that's just they we will be able to see each other, visit, fly, whatever, and
Yeah.
no matter what happens, I would be okay, much better than I would be in Peru. Like
Mm.
in for instance, just when I was about to move because of the Corona breakout, I had to move back to my mother's house because I wasn't able to go to the store and buy food because
Mm.
like Corona and all the restrictions of
Yeah.
movement, and that it makes me feel good that I'm here. Everybody is going on with their lives the best way they can, and it's like I said, it's not that I feel a burden or anything. I just
Yeah, you should
love
never feel that
from
way.
from love from their point of view to me, and my way of, okay, you did a lot during my growing up, during my development. Now
Mm.
you can, stand in the like backseat
Distance.
maybe,
Yeah.
and and
Right, now
and,
it's your
and
turn
watch
to take
and
charge of your
and
life.
watch me go, and basically
I'm sure
that's
they'll
it.
love to see you like blossom.
Yeah, well, like I said, we see each other and we talk to each other. We're very very close.
That's
Like
great.
I talk to them almost every day, and of
Wow.
course now that I'm much like more into the future, like I said to you girls, like here is the day is ending. I always have time to speak to them because I only just go not sleeping a little bit more, and I can manage to talk to them. So that's it.
No,
Um.
I'm glad you're still able to keep a close relationship. I remember you were telling us like when you were a kid, you were like very angry at yourself, at the world. And like I've related to that
Yeah.
because I was like always like, why did this happen to me? Why me? Like everyone else gets to be normal. And so like how did you change from that mindset to now you have such a positive mindset, which I feel is really hard to have with CP?
I guess that in a way I suffered enough It's hard
Right.
to it's hard to describe it, but it was it was something like that. It was I went really down. I really didn't wanna even keep believing it. I felt really depressed, really down,
Right.
and I didn't feel that you know I wasn't doing good physically. I wasn't, I didn't
Doing good
have.
mentally either. It's like you gotta take the
Yeah,
toll on the
it was
mental.
hard for me to develop in school. There were many aspects in my life that were not just feeling like they should,
Yeah, I
and I
get
was
that.
being
And it
a
makes you
kid.
question what's the point?
Yeah, it's like it's too hard, and I'm not able to. And then something switched, and it said like, you know what? I want to do my best. I want to see how far I can go.
Right, instead
Because
of like just surviving day to day, you start living and making the most.
it's yeah, it's a little bit, yeah. I have to somehow have to try to enjoy this and try to, and also it was because also of my parents. It's like they've done so much and they have given me so much, and I'm so lucky. I guess I've begun to realize how much lucky in comparison to other people I was, even
Mm.
non-handicapped, like just say normal.
Mm.
I had a good life. I had a good house. I had a good education. I had
Right.
sort of friends. It
Yeah,
was
you should be grateful for what you have.
it wasn't. If you see it in perspective, it was a good childhood, but I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah, it's hard
So
to.
so I guess up until the end of the but all of this going back, it started to get better in the university when it opened up. I started to know different backgrounds of people
Yeah,
with
that's always
different
helpful.
approaches, some
You
good, some
were
bad.
were you like gaining independence? You were meeting new people. You were forming
Yeah,
new
yeah.
friendships.
Yeah.
I was, even though I wasn't, exactly amazed at the start by law. I was learning something I wanted. At the end, it was more meaningful at school.
Yeah, it
It's
gives you
like,
purpose.
yeah, it's like, what am I doing here in school, And then, uh, also an important thing is I started to get girlfriends, like
I bet
friends
that was a bit fun.
yeah, during my school years, I like girls were like, don't look at me, just stay away, you're like freak. And I
Uh-oh.
wasn't able to engage with many girlfriends, but which I did in university.
That's
So that
good.
also opened up a different
Well,
perspective in my life, like a social perspective.
yeah.
And then I said, and that's when I started, going here, going there, going to bars, going to clubs, going. It was not only the little kid that uh, growing up was me and my Nintendo. You just
Me
switch the version.
too.
Nintendo, Super Nintendo,
Oh my God.
64.
And the Wii. I used to have like the Wii.
No, the Wii is just
That's too
much
new for
more.
you. That
No,
was.
No, but by the time we came out, I was already just playing in my PC.
Oh, understandable. You such a computer game.
Yeah. So
But I love
um,
how, yeah, I guess as you got older, it's more eye-opening. You're able to see the more better things of CP rather than when you're younger, you just feel so
yeah,
trapped in
and
this
I
mindset.
start. Well, I couldn't say I stopped completely, but I
I feel
started
it's
to
always
care
lingered.
less about what people thought about me or think about me.
in
Because
my 20s, I was much more obsessed with what people thought of me. And I know I'm only 32, but since then, I care way less about
Wow,
what
that's
people think. And then having my daughter on top of that was just an
hard.
eye-opening experience because you realize she's the only thing that matters now. Who cares? Who cares about whatever whoever thinks what?
And
Yeah, it's like people are gonna. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I guess that comes out to for me also the way that I came full circle from hating my disability to loving it. I
Yeah,
mean,
me too.
like right now, many years even before, if they made the famous question, what would you change about your in your life? I wouldn't change it. I mean, I've learned to love all the nooks and crannies of the hardness
Yeah.
because I came to realize that we grow up only when life hits us hard.
Yeah, the hard points make you appreciate the good things.
Yeah.
And the harder you get hit, the the bigger and faster you grow.
Yeah, you're much
And
stronger.
as a person, I mean, and and I really ended up liking myself as a person. How I turned out, um, because I could stay being that like afraid or maybe hateful, hurtful kid from the start, and I ended up, liking where I am, what am I, where am I, and even talking, in favor of of
Yeah,
my
how did you get
disability. And
into like going into motivational speech? How did you?
I didn't. It's just me.
Mhm.
I was never trained as a motivational speaker or anything. It's just I always
Being your
it's
true self.
like what I'm doing here with you girls. It's just I'm sharing my life. You know, thankfully I've had the luck to have a full life with many like experiences
Mhm.
that make it easier for me to share it and to be in many ways an example for handicapped people and non-handicapped both, like how
Mhm.
to try to deal with whatever it is you're facing,
Right, I feel like it's
because
also
nobody.
inspirational for people who are like able-bodied because they realize like there is hope even in the
Yeah,
darkest
I've
time.
had many people that say like, but it's like we were talking the other day. It's just they feel the physical part as tougher. But the thing I always say, and
The
I've
mental
repeated
part.
again, is that the handicaps that, like physical handicaps at least, we are the lucky ones because everybody can see that we have a problem, and if they want, they can help us if they really wish to. If not, they continue with their lives. But if you cannot see what's going on, and society assuming you're normal and then just don't caring, stop caring, because everybody's so fixed. Even myself, many times, you're fixed on your own deals, your own
Oh yeah.
Yeah, people are
agenda, your
worried about
own
their own problem
time.
struggles.
So you don't turn left or right to see what's going on. So
Yeah, exactly. That's what I
because of
remind
that,
myself if I think someone's judging.
yeah, well, because of that, every time I can, or I'm giving the opportunity to share my life, share my experiences to a broader audience, just to, it's like giving back a little bit of the luck that the universe gave me, because I
Yeah.
also told it before, I feel like one of the luckiest persons in the world,
Wow.
having been able to overcome all what I've overcome, and just sitting here, having the luck of sitting here sharing it with you
Mhm.
and making these um, I don't know, hopefully worldwide audience with many followers in the channel and everything.
Hopefully someday.
It's amazing. Like the
Yeah, we're honored to
the
have you.
idea the idea of me with my message being able to reach and inspire all kinds of people.
Yeah, everybody
It's
alike.
amazing. It's like I maybe it's again cheesy, but I feel I have a voice, and because I have a voice, I have to use it.
Yes, that's always what I say.
It's like you cannot just stay. Well, you might stay with your. Everyone can choose to do what they feel comfortable with. But in my case, sharing it's the most important thing, because that if I'm able to reach someone and help him to
Yeah, why not?
overcome what I have to endure, what I have to live through, um, and it's okay. Or
It's
at
worth it.
least, I'm almost 44, so I have, overcome many parts of my life. So maybe I'm lucky enough that the young kid is listening, and then I can say, okay, don't worry, keep
It
going.
does work
It's
out.
gonna
Yeah.
it's gonna get better. Somehow
It really
it's gonna
does. You don't think so. Like
It
I used to
doesn't
be
feel
like,
like that
oh,
sometimes,
I know what
yeah.
it feels like to think like that's the end of the world. Nothing's ever gonna get better. But it does.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, I was wondering, is there anything else you kind of want to mention or talk about?
Wow.
You
Mention
don't have to
about
do anything. I'm just asking.
no, but regarding my disability, regarding my like what?
What
Just
regarding,
any like final thoughts you have. Like
yeah,
Yeah.
final thoughts, final
No, I
whatever.
want to do I want to re-answer one of our questions that we were
Okay.
talking back. It's like, and then we will do the wrap up with a much positive drive. But you asked me which were the, the states of my life, or the moments in my life which were the toughest. So
yes.
I would have to say growing up, like from a little kid to like teens,
Mhm.
and then I cannot
That's so
say
hard.
I cannot say it's now, but it is starting. Like you have reached the peak, and I I I cannot say I feel old, because I don't feel old, but I do feel
Like your
that
body.
my spirit goes higher than where my body really cannot follow. Sometimes I really feel strong, and really want to keep doing stuff, and my body just doesn't get it. And sometimes I woke up and move, you have to do it. And
Right. You have
it's
to, even the times you're not motivated to do it, it's like you have to have the self-discipline. You can't just keep waiting
yeah,
for
and
motivation.
for me, like not being as independent as I was, needing, to be much more careful where I step, because if I
Hmm.
fall this time, I will break.
Yeah, I
Not
feel
like
like
when
you're
you're
not as resilient in the sense of your
Yeah, it's
body
not
isn't
like
as
when you're a
resilient
kid
as
that
when you're a kid.
you fell down and then you get up.
2 seconds
Now,
later, yeah, now it kind of
yeah,
affects your
now there are
body
much
different.
more consequences, and like I don't know. Now, if I do end up walking too much, then I'm
Right,
hurting,
you do feel it,
because
yeah.
oops, I overdid it. Yeah, of course it will pass, but your body, my body is trying to say, hey, you know, slow a little bit, slow down a bit.
Yeah,
And
listen to your
yeah,
body.
but on the other hand, I don't wanna, settle. I don't wanna say, uh I'm done. I wanna
Right.
keep walking. I don't wanna go. Like, maybe one day I'll be on a wheelchair, but it's not gonna be today.
I love that.
That's
Yeah, it's like you're not gonna just comply to that. You're gonna push yourself as much as possible for as long
Yeah,
as you
yeah,
can. And obviously,
exactly.
like, to a healthy extent.
So yeah, that would be my final. Like, it's still tough.
Yeah.
Like, and life is tough. I think that's the issue. Like, life is tough, but it's tough for everybody.
Yeah, no
You know,
matter who you
and
are.
everybody has to find a way to just try to make it the best way they can, and try to reach and get as high as you can. Not,
Yeah,
like I said in the beginning, not comparing to somebody else,
but to
but
yourself. It's your
yourself,
own
you
life that
know?
you're living.
Yeah.
Well, I had this final thought. Johnathan met with us previously, and he gave us his thoughts on after watching the first 2 episodes. He said that it might be a shock for some people, and it took me all day to drink that thought in. It's something I knew but didn't really think about. Sometimes it takes getting uncomfortable to get your point across and make change. I know this is only the beginning of our online presence, but it's enough to see we're all in pain and we all have genuine struggles. I also know the feeling I have after spending time with Sonia, Carson, and now Jonathan. It's a friendship and bonding I never experienced before. And it took me overcoming my insecurities and getting uncomfortable to find that.
Yeah, I feel
And
like if you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing. Sometimes you have to milk the comfortableness and
yeah,
really
and I
test each
feel like
other
all of
and
that is
more people.
worth it just if one person listening has that same feeling and same comfort. Just being with people with CP, people they can bond with and understand.
Yeah, I agree to that entirely.
I want to add up a little thought that I was uh, wanting to bring up because it's both of them are gonna sound cliche and many are, I guess, but I want to address them anyway. The first one is that the comfort zone that we were talking the other day, and I completely think that of course there are like different stages, but most of the time handicapped people, if they are like hard hard driven, we don't have that concept of comfort zone because we're always adapting. For us, it's not like, no, you stayed on your comfort zone. Yeah, well, maybe maybe it seems like that, but I just want to straight put it out there that for us, we're always struggling. We're always adapting to something, even even if it doesn't seem like it. Uh, then it is. So I
Yeah,
wanted to put that out there. And the second, which is also some sort of cliche, but that helped me a lot, is to realize all that I have achieved and giving thanks for all that I have and
yeah,
worry
that is,
more about what I was able to achieve and what do I have now instead of worrying how much I have still to get. It's like,
right.
or what I'm lacking of. You know, it's I I that mental switch of you being, I guess, maybe proud of all that you've been able to accomplish. It's even bigger and better when you really are able to think, thank God, thank the universe, or whatever it is you feel comfortable with. But it's like, hey, I I've walked until here. I have some mileage, with me, and I've done okay. And thank you for that. Instead of saying, oh, I have all these still to walk. All right,
Yeah,
No, but be
being
maybe,
grateful for what you have.
being positive is a conscious decision. You don't just wake up and think, oh, today's great, it's gonna be great,
No, it's how
everything's
you,
great. You have to put that into your mindset and be active with it, or it won't be there, you know?
yeah. And
yep,
Jonathan, what you were
exactly.
saying, like how I wanted to like expand on, like I think if you look at your past achievements, I feel like if you ever feel doubt in like the present or like about the future, helping what you've acknowledged in the past can motivate you for the future. Like, hey, I did all of these things, so now I can progress because of all this hard stuff I've gone through in the past. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and regarding doubt, of course I have doubts.
I
It,
mean,
it
yeah,
it's
endlessly you are. If you don't have doubt, I feel like you're not growing. You're too comfortable.
yeah, it's like, of course I doubt that will be, but at least I have to give it a go. You know.
Right, you never know. I feel like you can't.
Yeah,
Be
in many
afraid of
things.
risk.
I cannot say that I haven't just stayed back sometimes. It's natural. You
Hmm.
just, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So I wanted to say thank you, Jonathan, for your
Yeah. Thank
time.
you.
And just to summarize that, we are trying to be a voice for the CP community, offering experiences, insight, and advice. We hope to help anyone like feeling alone, to like give you any advice or to uplift your spirit, or for people who don't have CP to help enlighten you and
Okay.
understand the
Yeah.
kind of the world we live in. So just wanted to thank you guys for tuning into this episode, and I hope you could learn a lot from Jonathan's experience. To me, it was very insightful,
I
and
loved
hearing his
it. Yeah.
personal experiences was really interesting.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.